Hey, did you hear? Oh, go ahead. Get
Okay.
started.
All right. Is it? I'm sorry about that. We're live. Coming to you from Jason's living room or office. As you can see, he's got a screen up and he wants to talk a little Iowa Hawkeye offense. And so I'm going to turn this over to Jason. Go for it, Jace.
Well, first things first, did you hear Nestor starting
Um,
at at cornerback?
well, after 2 days of practice, I'm surprised if they've got that all determined already. But I've been hearing a lot of things come out of camp that are kind of
Well,
surprising.
it's been more than 2 days, but yeah,
Yeah.
they practiced all week. They started Tuesday, so they
Oh,
practiced all week.
I thought they started Wednesday. Well, anyway, but yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, you've been hearing good things about Nestor. I've been hearing some good things about him. So I gotta believe that the coaching staff has been saying good things and are really excited for Nestor. So
I was just shocked that he took over for Lee,
yeah, it
because Lee
appears
did.
yeah, because Lee has starting experience from last year.
Yeah,
But yeah, Lee, I think they're not 100% sold on him yet, just like they weren't 100% sold on TJ Hall last year. So that's why TJ Hall did a backup role, but it looks like he's doing a backup role this year too.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Hall's just got straight line speed. He doesn't appear to like B, and he's more of a man-to-man guy, and Iowa plays zone.
yeah, it appears too that Sullivan may have passed up Markle at the number 2 spot from what I read on 3 yesterday.
No, he hasn't.
Okay, they still might be both getting 2 reps. Both of them might be.
Uh, well, yeah, they have to fight it out, but he hasn't passed.
Mm,
On
yeah.
three, that everybody's just praying for that. Just like that Iowa News, they
Hmm.
did their podcast. They said the same thing, that what they believe. It's not happening.
Yeah.
That's just what they believe. Just
Right. True.
because people don't realize he was also the backup at Northwestern. Just because he started a few games when the starter was hurt.
Hmm.
It's all silly stuff. I was so weird when they just talk so good about people who transfer in,
Hmm.
but then they don't end up doing things.
Yeah.
Brendan wasn't going to start at Northwestern. That's why he transferred. He came
Yeah.
to Iowa because nobody else wanted him. He only started at Northwestern because the starter was hurt.
Hmm.
This Brendan Sullivan love is so weird to me,
Hmm.
but it is what it is. Until it happens, though, I'm not gonna, because I'm hearing good things about both quarterbacks, but
Okay.
Brendan is really far behind.
Yeah.
Sullivan,
Well,
he's
that
only
could be
put on.
because, but I mean, they're all learning the new playbook. But Marco had a head start on it.
Yeah,
A couple of months sooner than he did, and he got to run it in practice.
and I have a couple plays to show you because
Okay.
they're gonna have. I believe they're gonna have a quarterback package for Marco or Sullivan because they both can run.
Okay.
So, and I have a couple plays here to show you, which in this game, because Lester likes a quarterback package. He likes a running quarterback and stuff like that.
Well,
So,
yeah. According to he is a run first person, whether it be his
yeah,
quarterback or
he
running
is.
back or wide receiver.
He is. No, he is. He's 100% a run. There's gonna be a lot of runs. I'm just curious if they're gonna let Lester do what he does, which is he likes to get to the line of scrimmage
Hmm.
with like 2 or 3 plays, and then the whole team looks to the sideline for whatever play is going to be ran. So they're going to run it similar to what Iowa State does. I'm really curious if Kirk actually lets them do that. That's going to be interesting if Kirk lets them do that kind of offense, which would be
An
similar to what
Iowa
Iowa
State
State
offense.
does.
Who would thought? Who would have thought?
where the quarterback doesn't do near as much as what they did under previous OCs. Whereas the quarterback had to have knowledge of everything, the quarterback would have to read what the defense is doing. Now they're taking it out of the quarterback's hands, and the coaches on the sideline are going to do it if Kirk lets him do it Lester's way. But we'll find out. I mean, we got a lot of things to learn in the month of August. I can't wait. We have 3 weeks to go. Well, right, 4 weeks. Season starts in 3 weeks, but Iowa doesn't play for 4 weeks because Iowa doesn't play week 0.
Yeah.
Hawaii plays week 0.
Today will be 4 weeks from today.
4 weeks from today. Oh, okay.
Yeah, their first game is August 31st.
Yeah, 4 weeks from today is Iowa, but the season starts 3 weeks from today. So excited.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. You know who's playing? Obviously they must have a couple of marquee games up there.
Well, it's week 0, so there's a lot of teams that are playing. I know Hawaii is. I'm excited to watch Hawaii to see if they actually are going to run the run and shoot. I have a bunch of teams.
Yeah.
Is that real? Is that real? Are they preseason ranked 23rd?
CBS has, I believe, Jared, if I'm not mistaken, he's quoting the CBS rankings, and yes, that's real.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Even though it's a poll that doesn't really matter, but
right.
I'm glad.
No poll matters until the first week in November.
No, I just like when polls think of teams, but yeah. I'm glad CBS thought of Iowa. I bet you ESPN won't think of Iowa. It'd be interesting to see if the media thinks of Iowa or the coaches. Those are the 2 polls that I like to watch, even though, you're correct as it doesn't matter. But having them in the media or the coaches poll means people are actually, looking at them and thinking about them.
Well, that is true because you do need to get in the polls to be considered in the playoff hunt, right? So you got to be
right.
You need to show up somewhere in the polls so you can work your way up after you knock off Ohio State and Washington and back-to-back games. Got to put us in the top 12.
I will say this: I'm really excited. Just kind of how they're using, like Molten, and then
While you're thinking of that, I also it sounds
the
like
other running back. Who's the running back they moved to wide receiver? I forgot. Anyway,
Washington, Terrell Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
Yeah.
That's exciting because because he loves to run those fly sweeps and stuff. So
yeah,
Lester does.
Yeah. Well, one of the things too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Breven Dow is also taking reps at wide receiver, and he is a running back. So they must be taking advantage. Brevin Dahl, he is a running back who came in with this class, so he's new, but he's already taking reps at wide receiver. So
he's a freshman?
Yes, he's a freshman. Freshmen usually, they usually put them in there. Lester says in his interview that he's excited what he has in his wide receiver room, and it seems to me like in order to make up for a short wide receiving room, he's grabbed a couple of running backs with some speed who he feels, can grab the ball for him.
Well, he's also going to run fly sweeps with them.
Mm-hmm.
Where they won't be running routes as much as they'll be taking handoffs.
Yeah. So fly sweep is just a normal sweep coming from the other side, taking the handoff and trying to outrun the defense to the sideline.
But they give it to the guy coming across.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what Marset. Remember ISM, that's what he did for Iowa a lot. So Brian would do it.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian did a lot of sweeps. Last year it seemed like Weechin was the only one getting those sweeps.
Jared Brown is going to miss game 1, but that's it. And the other dude who got one isn't even. I mean, they could cut him. Like realistically, he wasn't a part of anything. He obviously didn't learn from Brown's mistake. He's one of the other one. I can't remember his name, but I just know he
Borad or something like that.
Yeah,
he's an offensive lineman that weighs 300 pounds from North Dakota that we picked up, and so he could figure into the rotation. He's a big boy. I saw a picture of him sitting on a bench. That guy is more fat than he is anything else.
No, I mean he's not going to be in the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. But okay. This is one of them. This is like an RPO type, but I don't think it's an actual. I mean, obviously, it depends on how it was tagged in the play call. Oh, we got commercial.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Stupid commercial. But this very first play, okay, right here. Now it's like see how they look to the sideline? This is what I was talking about. You can see Sky Moore, number 24. He plays for the Chiefs now, by the way. Number 24 right there.
Where's the 24 at? I can't see him. I can't see him because it's small on my screen.
Oh, you're not. You don't have a monitor?
I do not.
So you can't see how the quarterback, the running back, the receivers, even the tight end.
I can see I see the quarterback. He looks like he's in shotgun.
He's in shotgun, but look where his head's at. Can you see where his head's at? Is your screen that small?
Well, no. I'm on my laptop. However, but that part of that we show up on. If I want to keep the comments up here, then I have to keep it to where I can see it. But
my bad. See, you still have. You don't go full screen.
Yeah, I'm not full screen, but somebody else will be probably.
I got you.
Toward the sideline.
Okay.
So Jared,
I can just tell you. But you see his head's looking towards the sideline. Yeah, the quarterback, running back, the tight end, and all the receivers are looking to the sideline. This is what I was talking about in the beginning, where I'm wondering if Kirk's going to let him do this. This is where they go to the line of scrimmage with like 3 plays called, and then the sideline tells them what play to run, judging by how the defense is lined up.
Right.
So that takes all that extra work out of the quarterback. Right. The quarterback doesn't have to do what he used to have to do at Iowa, which know every darn thing. Now he gets up there. He doesn't have to read the defense as much as just know what the coaches are calling.
Well, don't forget that this year they will have microphones.
The helmet.
Yeah, in the helmet. Yeah.
Well, there's still. I mean, not everybody. Just the quarterback will.
Okay.
So they'll be able to tell the quarterback like the 3 plays however they tag it. I don't know how Lester tags plays. So it'll be however they tag it. He'll either give them 3 plays, or there'll be like a tag that says, okay, we're going to do this, this, or this. But all the other players are going to have to know what the tag was, right? So because he can only relay it to the quarterback.
Okay.
So it's a play action, but watch the quarterbacks. I know you won't be able to, Dean, hardly, but if you watch where the quarterback's looking, he's literally reading like the linebacker right there or at the top of the screen or the safety behind. It depends on, how coach has this play designed. See, it's like boom, it's fake, and then just a quick slant. So we're going to see a lot of that play action stuff.
Okay. That's pretty cool. That's quick. That's what I was kind of hoping to see. Get that kind of stuff out there and get it out there quick.
Yes, but the weak side linebacker don't really count. Jared, he's reading the top side of your screen, the strong side. That's why the slant came down. He was literally looking at the strong side linebacker and the safety, depending on where they were at. But let's see what. Oh, that's what this is. This is what we were talking. I heard you say something about a package on one of your podcasts, a quarterback package.
Yeah.
This is a quarterback package that he had with this guy. So he brought in a second quarterback to run this. This is the type of stuff they'll have like Marco or Sullivan do.
Yeah.
Depends on which one's a better runner. Now, my guess is Sullivan's going to be the better runner.
You think so?
Marco's more of a passer than he is a runner. So
but he ran pretty good in the bowl game.
Well, no, he can do it, but he's not as good as Sullivan at running the football.
Oh, okay.
Sullivan's kind of an angry runner. He runs it like a linebacker. Sullivan does. He's a much better runner than he is a thrower. Sullivan, I'm saying. Okay, now this is an outside zone. These are the kind of plays that we're going to see where we're not in a phone booth anymore. So, I mean, if you understand that reference, means if you remember Kirk's way, I can't really say Brian's because every OC done it that way, except for we'll see what Lester has to do, where everything is tight, right? Not all the time do they run, outside. Well, under Lester, they're going to spread the field more. And they're going to hit the edges more. So they're going to do more, I'm just going to say, outside zone plays. Because most Iowa fans will understand what a zone run is. So what Lester will do is most outside runs, zone plays, like this one, where they even had a tight end go out.
That's pretty nice.
Now this next one, there's some misdirection. Now see the motion? Watch this. See, this is another thing we're going to see, like with Brevin Dole, like you were talking about. This is the kind of stuff is they'll probably have guys like Brevin Dole or even Brown come in motion, fake, and then he's going to run the quarterback.
They're moving the ball pretty good. Boy, if Iowa can move the ball like that, I would be dancing in the streets.
Well, I mean, they're spreading the field, although right here, they do have it. I mean, they do have 8 guys, but it depends on what they do with the motion on this play. Right here, I mean, the defense has 8 guys in the box. The offense has 8 guys. So basically all 10 guys. So they're in shotgun, but they're still in a phone booth right here. But it depends on the motion that they use. Do they use any, or are they going to run straight at them? Okay, they still it was a play action. See, they went to a phone booth and he got sacked.
So phone booth means that they kind of pack it in there, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, everything is packed inside. Do you think offense? Yes. Lester loves his tight ends. And you'll see, I have some plays to show you. He loves the tight ends in the RPO game. He'll hit the tight ends down the seams. Right there, they tried doing a play action with motion coming across to try to get one of their wide receivers out in the flat, and it just didn't work. But everything was condensed, and there was no pre-snap motion on that play. But, yeah, they're going to run double tights. Lester loves running with 2 tights as well. Now, they won't do it as often, but they will. But they'll always have a tight end on the field. So they're going to use the tight ends a lot. What are we at? 320. Okay, now this next play is another one of those misdirection plays where they ran the quarterback on the play before. This is the exact same play, I believe. I have it wrote down. But they're going to give it to the running back. So it's going to be the same look where they got the first down running the quarterback. See, they brought some emotion, boom, and then this time, instead of running the quarterback, they gave it to the running back. So they have – they're not going to run an option, but I don't believe. But you can see, look how close quarters everything is right here. I don't know if you can see, Dean, but all three of them are right there. And this is just like that play where they ran the quarterback, but they're going to actually, they do the fake on the fly sweep, and they're going to give it to the running back on this one. Look at the linebackers can't even move. Look where the linebackers are still at. They have to wait. The linebackers have to sit back and wait, which helps the O-line a lot with this motion because they don't know who has the ball yet, so they can't attack. So the offensive line is going to have time to, if you can see they're doing their doubles. I'm going to have to do another video where I have my little spatula like I did in the old days to show you what the line is doing. But the line, they're going to double team and then come off of their double team with like the center. I think number 61 is going to move ahead to a linebacker. But all this motion that Paul and I talk about a lot, this motion right here, it helps the running game because the linebackers, they can't commit to anything. They don't know if it's going to be a pass, run. They don't know if it's going to be a fly sweep. They don't know who is going to have the football, which is what makes this offense go. See, boom, they give it to the running back, and the linebackers were still back. So the guy who actually made the tackle is the dude with a lot of hair. I think his number was 0, maybe. Yeah, it's to do with all that hair. See how he had a backpedal even. So he didn't know who had the ball, nothing. He had to go for the fly sweep, and then he still had the backpedal. See, he backpedals, he goes for the fly sweep, and then he comes back. Well, by then it was too late. It was 5 or 6 yards, just like that.
Well, it'll be nice. It'll be nice overall if we can just keep the defense guessing and not knowing what we're going to run before we know what we're running.
Right. Well, with all the motion, you don't know who's getting the ball. And you could see right here, I don't know if you can, Dean. Let me try to get rid of this. The dude with all the hair right there is the one who makes the tackle. Well, if you look at it, his first step is outside to follow number 4, just in case 4 got the ball. That's what motion does. And the other linebacker's in the crowd right there. He doesn't really know who has the ball yet at all either. And see, he comes down for the quarterback. So that's what the other linebacker was. So the linebacker on the bottom is actually looking at the quarterback, thinking the quarterback might have the ball. And then boom, 6 yards later, 7 yards later, however long that was.
At this point, I think I'd probably go
Okay.
they're playing.
Now 440. Now this is an RPO. Now watch the quarterback's eyes. I wish you could, Dean. Maybe you can go back and watch it again later on your computer or something.
I can do that. Well, I'm on my laptop. That's the only computer I have. But I can see well enough. I can just watch it full screen later, so I won't need the comments later.
On the ground, nice move.
Oh no. Okay. It was an RPO look. See, I took notes. I didn't read my notes very well. But if you watch the quarterback's eyes, like it's an RPO look, but he gives it to the running back. But his eyes are downfield, like he can pull it at any time. The cue here is the quarterback's eyes. See, boom, boom, he's looking at the linebackers. That's what the RPO does as well, because his eyes are downfield, so they don't know if he's going to pull it. And then there's your quarterback package. They brought in another quarterback.
Now, is this all the Lester stuff that you pulled from one of his teams?
Yeah, this is Lester's offense right here.
Okay.
That's why I'm using this game, because this game showed a lot. So I just went back to this game, and this game was a successful play because he's going against a team that's matched up with him, right? Instead of playing like they played Michigan this same year and Michigan destroyed them. I don't think we're going to see quarterback sneaks, boss. He doesn't run the quarterback sneak. Almost everything he does is out of shotgun. Everything.
Is Cade comfortable in the shotgun?
Yes, that's all he ran at Michigan.
Okay. Well, that's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
I mean, Michigan runs 90% shotgun as well. They just run the ball. It's just a different kind of offense, but they're in shotgun most of the time. Yeah, Cade's very comfortable in the shotgun.
I just remember
He's not gonna be-
Michigan when K destroyed us on the ground more than they did in the air.
Yeah, but it was a bunch of big plays.
Yeah, that's what it was. I know. I remember.
Still going, boys, a 230-pound load with Roboski.
Still, this time they give it to the running back. Let's see how they came running up to the quarterback. Okay, hold on. Where are we at? Okay, this might be the tight. Is this the tight end? Oh yeah, right here is your tight ends. It'll be right after this play. It's going to be like an RPO. He's looking downfield, and he pulls it right to the tight end down the seam.
Nice.
So there's your tight end, Jared. What'd you say?
I said it reminds me of the old days before Petrus.
See, play action and then right down the seams. Linebackers have no chance.
Okay, so you were saying you didn't think we'd see a lot of quarterback sneaks. Jared poses a question: what would be a possible play on 4th and 1? Do you have one of those in this set here?
Well, I believe we've already showed it a couple times. That's okay. We're going to see it plays like, where was it? Where's the quarterback pass? 448. So right here. Okay. I believe we're going to see this next play. There'll be a lot of this stuff right here.
Yeah.
Did
okay.
you see it?
That looked good. Yeah, that looked good. That gained more than a yard. That gained a lot.
Well, we'll see more of this, Jared, on 4th and 1. This quarterback power basically is what it is. Instead of the QB sneak, which is going to be interesting. I don't know. Maybe Kirk will say, no, we're running the QB sneak. But Lester just doesn't do much under the center. But Kirk could say, no, this is our number one play, the quarterback sneak. We're going to run the quarterback sneak.
Nobody's done the quarterback sneak as well as Nate Stanley.
Well, yeah. No, Nate's the best. Big Nate. Big Nate's the best at that. Okay, so, coming up, you're going to see the same thing, but to a wide receiver. Boom, play action. Oh, no, this is the touchdown. So the next play at 5. Right here. This will be to Sky Moore. It's going to be the same thing. Watch the quarterback's eyes. Boom, he's looking downfield. Like an RPO play action type, but this time it goes to the wide receiver down the seam. So you can see the difference this time. It's the same thing. Look at the offensive line. That's the key. Now, the offensive line is really close to being. Now watch, I want to say it's the center, maybe the left guard. Well, look how close this is. Look how confusing this is for the linebackers. It's almost cheating in a way, from what the linebackers are taught from the past. Obviously, they're not taught this now, but.
Tyler is in the game now.
Boom. Now look at the linebackers. They're all coming up. And look where that offensive lineman is. You only get 3 yards. God, he's at 3 yards. Downfield on a pass play. 1, 2. The offensive lineman is at the max 3 yards. If he goes any farther, it's a legal man downfield. So that's how confusing that is for the defense, for the linebackers. And then boom. To Sky Moore, who is now on the Chiefs. That was so close to being okay. How long do you want to make this video?
Yes,
because I didn't have it set up.
I can go up to an hour.
because we could just watch all these plays, but I mean, I didn't, because I didn't know how long you want to do. I just kind of focused on the main plays.
I'm okay up to an hour. We're about halfway
Cade's
there.
fine, but don't expect quarterback draws with him. I don't think he's going to run much.
On the ground.
That's nice.
That's just all running back right there.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, he's fine. He's going to play, but I don't think they're going to put him in the position to, like on a quarterback draw, which is a called quarterback killer play for a guy like Cade. They need Cade's arm and his brain. They need his accuracy. He's the most experienced quarterback. I don't think you're going to see much quarterback draw out of Cade. It will depend on how fully healed he is, I guess.
So, are we advertising kind of if we put Sullivan or Marco in the game with a running package? Are we advertising what we're going to do when they?
Well,
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah. It's no different than Wildcat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The difference would be bringing in a Sullivan or a Marco. They could throw the ball as well, right?
Right.
You're advertising what you normally do, just like in this game. Every single time they brought in that backup quarterback, he's ran the football or handed it off. But you still have to, when you bring in Sullivan or Marco, you still have to account for they can throw the ball as well. So, like I said, I think they're going to use if they use a quarterback package like that, it's going to be Sullivan. They're not. I mean, that would be silly to have it be Marco when he's not the better runner. Sullivan is the better runner. Yeah, me too, Jared. Me too.
All of us. All of us.
Did witness Bronco fans who recall that Bahamas ball sparked them. There was a big run for Tyler.
But you can see, and he's fast. Oh, he got caught.
That is, yeah. I'm on a slight delay. I'm using my phone because I can blow up the screen that you're showing bigger than I got on my laptop. So that was
Oh,
nice.
nice. Okay.
But yeah, the funny thing is, though, I'm on a delay from you.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm seeing it right after it happens, but that's fine. I don't care. This way, I can actually get a closer look at what's going on.
For the touchdown. Most of their guys.
Good morning, Jerry. We're just kind of going over what Lester's offense might look like in a game, in an Iowa game.
Boy, he doesn't even get touched on the inside until it gets down to about the 5-yard line.
Did one of this next run with Western Michigan? It's an outside run. See, we're going to see a lot more outside runs as well with Lester. He'll use pulling action.
Can I say if we're going to see more outside runs, I would rephrase that. We're going to see more successful outside runs because Brian tried to do that with our guys.
We hardly ever tried it with. We hardly ever tried outside runs the last couple of years. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, when they had Goodson was a great outside runner. They just didn't do it a lot. But here you can see they're pulling the tight end and center on this particular play right here.
Yes.
It's going to be like a counter action with the running back where he comes in, gets it, and then cuts it back outside. Running back comes in, he waits, and then they pull the center and tight end. We'll see more of that.
Boy, Western Michigan sure having their way with the Wolfpack defense.
Yeah. And see, here's another one. And this is the quarterback package play. Watch your quarterback. It's just no, he doesn't ever throw it. So this next play, you'll see that it's a quarterback package play, and there's more motion.
Mm-hmm.
The motion is the key. Sky Moore comes across, and he gives it to the running back. You might see plays like that on 4th and 1 as well. What's that? Should we expect Kirk's philosophy once? Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing, but see, this is the difference, Jared. The difference in this, what your question right there is, our offense is still going to be safe, which is what Kirk would want. But it's going to be spread out, and they're going to run the football out of plays like you see here, where it won't be like we're just going to line up and run it, in a phone booth. It's still going to be spread out. They're still going to run the football the same philosophy, which is what Kirk would want, but it's just going to be ran differently, and it's harder to stop these kind of runs when you have all this motion, fake handoffs here, give it here. So I mean, we can't argue with Kirk's philosophy. He's what was it, 74-2 in his last since 2015. There's 74-2 if they get up by 8 points at any point in the game. So in the first quarter, they get up by 8, they win, right? So we can't argue with Kirk's philosophy. It obviously works. The problem was they just didn't get up by 8 on, most of their games. I mean, and if you think about the last time they lost up 8 was that Northwestern game where Petrus threw the ball 52 times. You remember that? That was their last loss. I think they were up 17-0 in that game, weren't they?
That was correct, yes.
So, yeah. I don't.
Yeah, go ahead. Answer that.
I was just going to say, I don't think that matters because with the 12-team playoff now, you just have to win. That's all you have to do. You just have to win.
Yeah.
I think it's
Florida State got left out because in their championship game they won 6-3, and they were undefeated, and they still left them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, but that was only a 14 playoff.
Yeah, true.
That's my point. My point is now that it's a 12-team playoff, it's in reverse. Like now, all you got to do is win. When it's a 14 playoff, then it matters.
Yeah. So
like
I just want to correct something. I want to correct something on getting up by 8 or 9 points and then taking the gas off the pedal. Kirk has never really taken the gas off the pedal. What he's done is gone more to a running game, trying to hold the ball and run the clock. And we have not been successful with that in the last couple seasons, thus the low scoring averages that we have. If under this new system, if Kirk decides he doesn't want a lot of passing going on, but the running the play, it looks to me like we could be successful running the ball a lot and keeping the ball and gaining yards and pass when only necessary. I mean
that's still taking your foot off the gas.
That is true.
Everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody knows you're going to run the football, that's still taking your foot off the gas.
Yeah, well, that is true.
The only difference is the style and how we run it. That's the only thing that's changing.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe Kirk will let Lester do more if they're up, by 10 or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I guess it'll depend on how he trusts Cade, how everything goes. But I mean, that is taking the foot off the gas when all you do is run. Right.
Okay, I get that. I guess my point was I think we can be more successful running it this year and holding on to the ball for longer time.
Yes, that's what I was saying before with the style of running. It'll depend. I mean, it'll just depend on if Kirk is still same old Kirk. If they're going to run the football, he's going to stop them from passing, which is taking your foot off the gas, but it's a different style of run.
Right.
So
there you go.
With spreading it out.
Kincaid, big hole. Oh, that line continues to get it done. Kincaid gets his second score of the day.
I missed the.
The 20-yard line.
Well, apparently it looks good. Apparently the freshman punter from Australia is a stud.
This time he hands it off, and that'll be enough for the first down.
Anybody think it's funny that the Chicago Bears in their exhibition game didn't use Torrey Taylor in punting? They used some guy they signed from another team. The other
No,
night.
I think they already know they drafted, so they're just letting other people do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually used a draft pick on Torrey Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I disagree with that. If they go 11-1, regardless, they win by 1 point, they're in the playoffs. They go 10-2, regardless, if they've won all 10 games by 1 point, they're in the playoffs. There's 12 teams now. Think back about how many playoff teams Iowa would have if they had a 12-team playoff. Like, I just don't, because there's so many teams in the playoff now, I mean, they're going to take 12. I agree with you when there was only 4. When there was only four teams, because it's so hard to make a 4-team playoff, right? They left Florida State out of a 4-team, but they wouldn't have been left out of a 12. They maybe would have dropped seeds. But that's how I feel about it. But I think now, with it being 12 teams, you're going to see – I don't think you're going to see running up the score nearly as much as you did before, because some coaches do believe in style of, points where Kirk doesn't.
Yeah. Well, if we go back through the entire playoff era, Iowa would have never made the playoffs. As successful as some seasons we've had.
What year? I mean, what playoffs are you talking about?
And we're just saying that when you go back to the beginning when it was a 2-team playoff before it became a 4-team, Iowa would have never made the top 12 in that era period.
Yeah, they would have. They would have made it like. Think about this: 2002. They finished. They were.
That was
third in the country.
That was pre-playoff where they just picked the top 2 teams.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about then.
I'm just talking about
what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you go back to 2002, if they had a 14 playoff, they would have been in the 14 playoff.
Right.
If you go back to 2003, they would have been in the 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
2004.
Yeah. No,
they finished 3 years in a row. They finished top 10. How did they finish top 10 and not make a 12-team playoff?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and they finished number 8 in 2002, 2003, 2004. They haven't been in the top 10 since.
Right, but they would have been in the playoffs those years.
Well, those years. Yeah, but I wasn't going back that far because that was when a committee decided who the top 10 teams were.
Dean, 2015 they would have been a playoff team. Do you remember 2015 when they were 12-0?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, well, what are we talking about here?
That might be the only one.
2009 they would have been a playoff team.
I'm just going to be quiet.
2009 they would have been a playoff team.
I'm going to go back
and
check my records. I'm going to go back and see where we finished all those years in the polls.
Yeah, 2015 we finished top 10. 2009 we finished top 10. They finished the season 11-2. Like, what are you talking about? That's just silly.
Well, I don't always go by the record. I go by where they finished in the standings.
That's what I'm doing. And I'm telling you, in 2009, they finished top 10. 2015, they finished top 10.
Okay.
I already have a bug bite on my leg from last night.
I mean, I just disagree, Jerry. I mean, that's fine. I disagree with the whole. You're going to have 9-3 teams in the playoffs in the top 12. But I mean, I just disagree with that. But the media doesn't matter also as far as the playoffs are concerned. They have a playoff committee. So anyway,
Yeah. I'm just looking this up for my own knowledge. If you want to
No,
kind
I
of
mean that's
the ball
fine.
rolling.
I just found it hilarious that you said that is all. I mean,
Yeah.
2009 they were 11-2. I mean, I don't know what you're. 2015 they were 12-0, and then they lost in the championship game, which was a very close game. So they were talking about putting the 2015 team in the playoffs when it was only what, 2 teams in 2015. They would have been in the national champ. They would have been, no, it was a 14 playoff. They would have been in the 14 playoff had they beat Michigan State, and they lost on the last play of the game. They would have been in a 12-team playoff.
Okay. Yes, they did in 2009. They finished 7th.
Yeah.
2019 they finished 15th. 2015 they finished 10th. 2020 they finished number 15. That's all as far as I got. That's all I got. But okay, so I stand corrected. There was a couple of seasons in there they would have made it.
Yeah, in the 12-team playoff, they would have made it like 7 times under Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah.
No, I don't. If they don't finish 10-2 or better, if they don't finish 10-2 or better, I'd be disappointed. I don't care where they get ranked.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the schedule, the only loss they have is Ohio State. So they would have to lose to somebody else, in my opinion. I think they're going to be favored in almost every single game they play. Ohio State, I don't think Iowa really has a chance, just like the last couple of years. I don't.
We didn't think we had a chance in 2017 either, but we showed up.
Well, right. That was the year. That was Big Nate throwing 5 touchdowns, though. But anything's possible. But they're going to be favored in at least 10 of the 12 games. I think they could be favored in all 11. They won't be favored against Ohio State regardless, unless Ohio State is bad and is losing.
Mm-hmm.
But where's the game at? The Ohio State game, isn't it at Ohio State?
It's at Ohio State for the second consecutive game. We're
That's
supposed
what
to
I thought.
flip every other in the Big Ten, but apparently, got to make sure Ohio State makes its run because they might lose to Oregon. So we have to make sure that they make their run by having all the tough games in their stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed if they don't finish top 10, but I'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
No, that
Jared
I agree
won.
with Jerry. 100%, Jerry. I agree with that. Jerry, if they're 9-3, they're not in the playoffs. They may not be in the playoffs at 10-2. I think they will be because I think there will be some 9-3. I mean, if you look at the top 12 every single year, there's teams with 3 losses in the top 12.
Yeah.
The top 5 teams, they're going to be 1 or 2 losses. But when you go to the top 12, there are teams that are going to have 3 losses in the top 12.
Alabama. I'm just kidding. I'm just thinking out loud here. We got Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, and Oregon, who are all potentially going to finish ahead of us in the standings.
Who?
Although I said potentially.
No, I know, but who'd you say?
I said Michigan, Penn State, Oregon, and Ohio State. However, I got
agree
Iowa.
With everybody. I agree with everybody except Oregon.
Yeah,
I'm on the same page with you there.
Okay, I'm thinking that we're going to go 11-1, and I'm thinking Michigan and Penn State and Ohio State and Oregon are pretty much playing each other, and they're going to be having more than one loss. So I see Iowa finishing in a 3-way tie for first place, but because we have lost to Ohio State and I got Ohio State losing to Oregon, I got Iowa finishing 3rd in the Big Ten.
Wow, you have Oregon on a high horse. I I think Oregon's going to have 3 or 4 losses.
Okay. And that's very possible. We don't know what's going to happen in the new Big Ten, with all the defenses that Oregon's not used to seeing. And you might be absolutely right. You might.
Yeah, I don't have Oregon. I don't have any of those West Coast teams very high. Me personally, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Oregon is
Iowa
the only
finishes
one
in
I've
top
got in the top 5.
I think Iowa finishes in the top 4 because of their schedule. They don't play. They don't play Michigan. They don't play Penn State, do they? They don't play Michigan. They don't play Penn State. They don't play Oregon, even though I wish they did.
Right.
They play
They don't play
USC and
USC
UCLA.
either.
What's that?
They don't play USC either. So
no, they play Washington, which is on the downturn.
Right.
And they play UCLA, which is just UCLA. They just suck.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to know what UCLA is not going to know what hit them when they play like Iowa's defense.
Yeah, I think Michigan loses at least 3 games this year.
I don't know about that, but I mean, that would be pretty cool if they
Penn
did.
State will lose. I got Penn State losing 2 or 3 myself.
Jerry's got Oregon up there with you.
I know he does. I saw that. I don't know. Maybe I'm high. Maybe I'm high on Oregon because all the media is. Everybody in the media is high on Oregon. They're like ranked 1 or 2 in the nation on everybody's poll.
Who, Oregon?
Or maybe that's 1 or 2 in the Big Ten poll. Never mind. 1 or 2 in the Big Ten poll. In everybody's poll.
That's interesting. Let's see what Phil Steele has Oregon out here real quick.
Okay.
I mean, their quarterbacks in the NFL. There's a reason why the quarterback that transferred there. This is what we don't. I don't know. This is what I don't understand, is because quarterbacks are moving all around because they're losing their job.
Right.
Like their quarterback came from Oklahoma, but he was losing his job to a sophomore at Oklahoma, which is why he transferred. We are so high on quarterbacks who transfer. Who, yeah, he was. Damon Gabriel was really good at Oklahoma, but he wasn't good enough to keep his starting job.
Mm-hmm. He wasn't willing to work for it. He wasn't willing to stay at Oklahoma and work for it. Work to get it back.
Which says a lot about who he is as a quarterback. I just don't think Oregon's.
Mm-hmm. And I could almost say the same thing about Brendan Sullivan, because most people thought when he transferred to Iowa that he was the presumed starter for Northwestern. If that's the case,
he wasn't.
They brought in this new guy to take over for him, or maybe it's the old guy who was been injured. So, but it shows that Brendan Sullivan wasn't willing to fight for his job either.
Well, he never had the starting job, and he was never going to get it. Mm-hmm. They brought in another quarterback who was going to pass up Brendan at Northwestern as well. So Brendan, I mean, that's what I just don't understand, the love for Brendan. Like, he was never a starting quarterback except for when the starter got hurt. Mm-hmm. And see, I have Oregon 9-3, and I have Michigan 10-2. But
Jerry and I both have Michigan at 9-3.
So wait till you see Northwestern's quarterback this year. There's a reason why Brendan left. Northwestern is going to look good.
Yeah.
He's not a Heisman candidate. He's only a Heisman candidate on week 1. Once they get into conference play, he will no longer be a Heisman candidate.
Just remember one thing.
Heisman candidate.
The West Coast schools have not seen defenses like against the Big Ten, except when they played them outside of.
He doesn't have a strong enough arm. There's so many. When he was at UCF, he started as a true freshman at Central Florida, and he was a pretty good quarterback at UCF for the teams they play. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they could be. They could surprise the hell out of me. I just don't. Plus, I've followed Gabriel since day one of his college football days. I evaluate him coming out of high school. He's a pretty good quarterback, but he is not what they had last year. Last year, they had one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Gabriel will not be a Heisman Trophy contender. He might be right now in week 1, but there's a lot of them that are that by the time conference starts, they'll start to fall off the list.
Okay. So I'm looking at this already. So Lindy's has Oregon as number 2 and Ohio State 1, Michigan 3, Penn State 4, USC 5, Iowa 6. God, without that quarterback, I don't see USC being that great. Did they pick up a quarterback that's really that great?
Not that I know. Let me see who their quarterback is. Off the top of my head, I don't. Because Malachi Nelson, who is a stud, transferred out of USC. There's something going on at USC because they had Malachi Nelson, and he transferred to Boise State just to get out of USC, which I don't know why. I don't know why.
I don't have a problem with a high stud player moving to Boise State because they've always been a force in football.
Well,
USC starting QB
Miller Moss Jr. I don't even know who that is.
I've never heard of him.
I'm gonna have to look him up because it's very rare I don't know a quarterback, and I don't know who this kid is.
So USC only. I'm surprised that they got them that high. They've only got 6 total starters coming back from last year.
Yeah, and Iowa's got 18. One of the reasons I'm extremely high on Iowa is they literally have the most returning starters in the league.
Yeah. Well, this is where I wanted to say earlier. To me, it would be a bust this year if we don't make the playoffs, and I'm going to tell you why. Because with us losing practically 90% of our starters after this year, I have no idea when Iowa's going to get back to a 10-2 type season. Because we got a lot of people to break in next year unless we decide to hit the portal really hard.
Well, I mean, they have talent everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to lose a lot of starters, of course, but there's talented backups. I mean, if you think about it, Iowa hasn't really went backwards other than last year. When's the last time they only won? I think last year was the first time. How many they win last year? 8?
Who?
7. They won 7, right? Or 8? Iowa.
Who? Iowa? They won a total of 10 games last. Oh, you mean the previous season?
Yes, previous years.
Yeah, 8. 8 with the bowl win. Oh, by the way, I think we picked up an extra win from the season before because Kentucky had to vacate all their wins from the season before when we lost to them.
If they lose to Iowa State, then no, it's over. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Don't bring back 2002, Jerry, what are you doing? We don't want to bring back 2002.
Yeah. Because Iowa State still says that kept us out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Just think that 2002, if they did not lose to Iowa State, they would have been in the national championship conversation.
I would rather see Iowa finish 3rd in the Big Ten than go to the Big Ten championship game and have to play Oregon or Ohio State, because I feel like if they got a loss there, that would keep them out of the playoffs. But it would not. If the other two beat each other up and they play for the title, and we can sit there and we can coast into the Big Ten title game. And not the Big Ten title game, but the playoffs.
This is what I'm trying to say is maybe now that's not the case because they get 12 teams in, right? I think both teams in the Big Ten championship game are going to be locks for the playoffs because it's 12. It goes all the way to 12. And if both teams in the playoffs are like 11-1,
Mm-hmm.
and then they lose the championship game and end up 11-2, there are going to be 3 lost teams in the playoffs. It drops all the way to 12. You get 12 teams.
Okay, here's my scenario though. How many do you think
Me too,
Big Ten
Jerry.
teams will get at large berth? At large berth, when you got SEC, SEC, you got them, and they're gonna get some at large berths. You got, I was gonna say 4 automatics. Whoever wins the ACC, Big Ten, SEC, and Big 12 are gonna automatically get a berth in the playoffs. And then you got a group of 5 team. The best group of 5 team gets a playoff. There's 5 spots out of 12. Now you got 7 at large berths you got to fill. And so now that I'm curious now, I think it depends on what the other teams around us in the Big Ten do and what the other teams in the SEC do. I don't think Big 12 gets more than 1 or 2 teams in the title game, and same with ACC. I think ACC might get 2 or 3. And so that's what I'm saying is that everything revolves around what the other teams do. I don't know. I'm not saying I want Iowa to make the playoffs because, like I said, I feel like this is going to be a year where we're going into a rebuilding phase after this year, and it might take a couple years, 2 or 3 years to get back to 10 wins. And so, like with the schedule we got next year and the returners that we don't have, I have the ceiling for us at 6-6 next year. I've already gone and looked at that schedule, and I just don't see how we get more than 6 wins next year. And so it sounds like I'm an Iowa hater now because I that's the way I pick it, but I just think I don't know. It's just how I feel. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah. And Jerry says, don't forget about Notre Dame.
Yeah, but you guys, I don't know what your point was because think about those 5 championship teams are already in the top 12.
Right. Yeah.
So they're not taking anybody's spot in the top 12. They're already going to be in the top 12.
Right. Right.
You're going to, like I said, you're going to see teams that are 9-3 in the playoff. Very rarely are top 12 teams are 10-2 or better. If I was 10-2, if I was 11-1, 10-2, they're going to be in the playoff. Okay. You're going to see a team that's the 12th team. It's going to be like 9-3.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, no, there's very rarely are there going to be that many teams that are going to be 10-2, 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we just got to take care of business week to week.
As long as Iowa gets to 10-2, I think they're in the playoffs. I don't see USC going, but this Miller Moss kid that we talked about, he's actually a redshirt junior at USC, so he's been there the whole time.
So he knows the system pretty good.
Well, I mean, he's only what's his name's only been there 1 season.
I thought he was there
so
too.
He was with the other coach too.
Yeah, I thought this was his 3rd season, Lincoln Riley.
No, this is only his 2nd year.
Oh,
he was at Oklahoma.
Okay, it just shows you how fast time is flying and how fast it's not. When you get old like me, it just seems like right. Lincoln Riley's been the USC coach forever, and I forget he was at Oklahoma for a couple of years before he burned them.
But you might be right. Let me look. I think this is his 3rd year, though. You're right. He's only 40. You believe that? So he's been a head coach for.
Yeah, young and hungry.
I mean, he was with Mike Leach. He runs his version of the air raid.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was 19-8 in his first 2 years at USC. So he's averaged 9.5 wins his 2 years.
It is his 3rd year. I started thinking about everything that went down in Oklahoma in the first year he left.
Yeah.
They already wanted that Oklahoma coach gone.
Yeah. Jerry, a group of 5 team is guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. I
Are
realize
you
that.
sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. We need to go back
I
and
thought they
verify
had to
that, but I
be.
was told that a group of 5 team, the best group of 5 team, the highest ranked one, would be in the playoffs.
I thought they would have to be up there like a Liberty was. I didn't think they were guaranteed the top G5 team would be in there, but
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is
no, I
what
mean you you
I
could be
thought I
right.
heard.
That just seems weird that they would do that.
Yeah.
I understand if like Liberty and I mean they should just be a part of everything.
Yeah. Do you think Notre Dame, if they don't get in the playoffs, just turns down a bowl game like they usually do because nothing's good enough unless they make the playoffs? Notre Dame
I
does
don't
not
know.
seem to like bowl games.
Didn't they only do that one time,
Oh, okay.
or have they done that multiple?
I don't know. I'm just
Well,
making
last year
conversation.
it seems like a lot of people last year did it for whatever dumb reason. Wasn't there more than just one team that turned down a bowl last year?
Yeah, and there were they're passing a new rule too that says players have to when they do this new signing thing or this new money thing that the players have to guarantee that they will play in bowl games and they won't opt out.
Oh yeah, I saw. Did that pass? Like, is that a thing for sure? I read about it.
I think so. I think it's tied into the new money thing.
The
That these
NIL
guys are getting.
stuff.
Yeah, the new NIL thing that they're going to do.
I mean, to me that's smart. I'm glad they're doing that.
Yeah,
Can you imagine taking all that money and then not playing in their biggest game? I mean,
right.
come on.
Yeah, I mean
Like,
nobody in the playoffs will opt out.
well, that isn't that what? Yeah, remember what happened to Florida State? All their players didn't play because they weren't in the playoff.
Right.
Florida State ended up getting beat by. Good God, it was like the worst bowl game in history.
I'm surprised
Oh
they didn't
yeah,
go to a
you're right,
pretty.
Jerry. I forgot about that.
Yep. And now they became a 6-win team. So now they think they finished 6 and 7 last year.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just nuts. I didn't know Minnesota was that bad. I forgot until Jerry just said that.
Well, according to the procrastinators, they're going to be bad again this year. Do you think what's
If
his name is on the hot seat?
if they're that bad 2 years in a row, he'll be on the hot seat because nobody likes his personality.
I know it.
Everybody says that he's like a prima donna there at Minnesota. So
Yeah. And here I always thought too that James Franklin and Kirk did not like each other, but I mean, at least on TV and news conference, they're showing mutual respect for each other.
well, they probably don't like each other, but they respect each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Minnesota has a new QB transfer in. He's supposed to be pretty decent, I think.
Jerry, do you know what the guy's name is?
I'm looking it up.
Oh, here we go. See, I mean, I don't even know that dude. All these
I never heard
quarterbacks.
Card. Somebody named Card. That name's familiar. Hudson
Oh
Card.
no, that's Purdue.
Oh, I looked
He's
at
good.
Purdue. Where? Oh,
Hudson,
there he is. Here's
Hudson
Minnesota.
Card is at Purdue.
Yeah, Max Brosmer. I never heard of him.
Yeah, and he's a senior, so I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Aren't most transfers seniors?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
That's why you have people transferring 2 or 3 times, like that Dylan Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
He's on his 3rd transfer. Not anymore. Not with the transfer portal. A Billy.
PJ seems like a Billy Mays redo. I don't. Okay, guys, fill me in. Who's Billy Mays?
So they have, man, I'm telling you, Minnesota, they may not be as good.
Minnesota's
still have-
finished 15th. Here's what surprises me: Illinois all the way down to 17th this year.
But
And
they lost there.
Nebraska getting a lot of love this year, but with their easy schedule, they should.
I mean, they get a lot of love every year. But Illinois lost to everybody. You know what you're saying about Iowa after this year?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Illinois is this year. They
They
lost so
everybody.
much. Yeah, they lost so much on defense too. They lost their quarterback.
Oh, okay, Jerry. Now I know who you're talking about. Now I know who you're talking about. Okay.
I'll tell you what, Northwestern is going to surprise. Northwestern looks good to me this year.
I think
They have the quarterback, the running back. They have AJ Henning Jr. at wide receiver still. Northwestern looks like they may have their best team in a long time this year, in my opinion.
they're picked to finish 13th, but
They're not going to do that.
Well, I got teams like Washington, Rutgers, Maryland, Michigan State, Northwestern, all kind of finishing in the middle together. But the record will depend on how they do against each other. So I got Northwestern could finish as high as 8th and as low as 15th or 13th, in my opinion. I just have I have all those teams mixed in together.
I can see Northwestern finishing 8-4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jerry, I'm up early on a Saturday because we needed to do this podcast because I have a soccer game to go to,
and I have wifey duties to do, so I have to get outside and start doing yard work as soon as we're done. She's already out there. If you can hear the trimmers, the bush trimmers. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but she's out there with the bush trimmers already.
Yeah, I can't hear that. My next door neighbor hired a gardener for mine, so I don't have to do my lawn anymore, and it never looked better. Never looked better. The grass, the weeds, everything. It looks better than it ever has because I couldn't keep up on those stupid weeds.
Yeah, it always looks better when you don't have to do it. That's how I looked at it. But my wife never lets me do that. I have to go out and do it.
But imagine going out there in 100-degree heat trying to knock down weeds, which are hard to do already, and trying to keep up on them.
Yeah, that's why it's supposed to be that today. That's why the wife's out there right now. She's really so I gotta get out there and do that this early before it gets hot. It's supposed to be in the 90s today, I think. So
yeah. So hey guys, this is probably a good place to end the podcast. It's been going really well. I appreciate every one of you who's been on here listening and watching, and I appreciate the ones making their comments. It's kept this discussion going. I always appreciate it. Please, if you're currently on, hit the like button. Hit the like button, and then also subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Subscribe, and as always, please share this video with all your friends and all your Hawkeye groups and stuff. Let's bombard it. Let's get me up to I wanted 500 by I wanted 500 by the kickoff. I got 4 weeks to do it. I think I'm at 340 something. So, guys, I got a ways to go.
Is Jerry a part of the Punting is Winning podcast? Is that who Jerry is?
Yeah, and I was just gonna just mention, guys, if you get a chance, check out Jerry's Punting is Winning podcast. Just a couple of fans, like they're sitting at a bar, talking and discussing stuff, and it's a pretty good podcast. I enjoy listening to it. I've been on vacation all week, so I haven't listened to his latest episode yet, but I will do that.
Yeah, your life is good. Your life is good. You've been on a beach. I've seen those pictures.
It was fun. I'm all dark. I got home and I looked at myself and I told my wife, God, I didn't realize how dark I was. All that sun this week, just chilling on the beach. But yeah, Jerry, I'll get that listened to today. I got time to do it later when I'm doing my yard work and stuff. Not yard work, but housework and stuff. Jerry goes, vacation. What is that? Something I don't see very much of, Jerry, because I am retired. So, but it was a well-deserved. We got out of the 100-degree heat and went into 70-degree weather, and it was comfortable. I loved it. Then we drove back on Thursday afternoon and right back into the 100-degree heat. Stepped out
Did
of the
you
car and
see?
I thought I was going to die.
Did you see the Jarrett question about the Iowa ISU game?
Yes, he says I think it's a toss-up too. Bring that back up if I can find it real quick.
I mean, if it's a toss-up, we're in trouble, but it's always a toss-up because it's Iowa State.
Yes, Iowa State. It doesn't matter what the records are between these two teams. Just throw out the records.
I don't see Iowa State scoring unless Iowa scores, just like last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I don't think it's a toss-up other than it's a rival game because I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Iowa State can score against Iowa, just like last year. Until Iowa went up, what was it, 20-3? And then that's when Iowa did their normal playoff, make Iowa State use their time, make anybody, whoever they play. They didn't score until the score was 23. That's what Jerry's talking about as far as what Kirk does, because even the defense starts to do it. They play back, they
Mhm.
tackle everything in front of them, the waist clock, and that's what lets Iowa State back. That's what let Iowa State back in the game a year ago. But
Right.
if it's a toss-up for real, like a challenge, other than it being a rival where you're feeling the rivalry,
Mhm.
Iowa could be in trouble for the year because I don't think
Yeah.
Iowa State's going to be very good.
Well, I know the media people are talking about Iowa State challenging for a Big 12 title and a playoff spot, but they're picked like 6th or 7th in my
I was
Lindy's
going to say,
magazine.
I think they might win 7 games personally, but I root for them every game except for against Iowa. So I would love to
I
be
do
wrong.
too. I do too. And
I would
the
absolutely
one
love to be
thing
wrong.
is we need to. By the way, I'm kind of mad. Iowa State gets a 2-page spread in Lindy's magazine, and we get 1. I'm really mad about that.
That's why I go with Phil Steele.
Yeah, I haven't been able to find Phil Steele's magazine on the newsstand. All I found was Lindy's.
Yeah. Phil Steele sells out quickly. I go to Barnes and Noble like all the time until I get it. Until I get a new shipment in. Because it does.
Mm-hmm.
It sells out pretty quickly.
Yeah. All right. I think it's a good place
Alrighty.
to good place. Good podcast, guys. Thank you for everything and good podcast. Thank you for explaining everything, Coach, on how things were going to look for us. And, if we can look like that and run those plays as well as Western Michigan did, we're going to be happy dancing all year.
Oh, yeah. For real, because our defense is still going to be there, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah. People forget about our defense. Our defense is going to be one of the best, if not the best in the country and most experienced. And I expect we'd be shutting a lot of teams down this year.
It is, you know what? And before we leave, to add on to that, what you just said, imagine if we get an offense who actually do control the ball on how good Iowa's defense is going to be.
Right. Yeah.
If Iowa realistically controls the ball where the defense isn't on the field as often as they were,
yeah.
Good God. Can you imagine a fresh Iowa defense? That's going to be fun.
Oh, that's going to be hilarious. They're going to love it. All right. We're going to get out of here, guys. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate it.
See ya.
Bye.